Why does the money you use every day have value even though it's just paper? Today we'll explore the Fiat Standard by Saifedean Ammous, a deep dive into how fiat money works, how it was created, and how it shapes the world around us. For hundreds of years, gold was money. It was rare, durable, and trusted worldwide. But during World War I, countries needed more money to fund their armies. They stopped using gold temporarily, but this measure became permanent. By 1971, President Nixon cut the US dollar's link to gold, creating the fiat money system we use today. Fiat money is created by governments and has no physical backing. It's valuable only because we believe in it. But how is fiat money created? It happens through loans. Imagine you take out a loan to buy a house. The bank doesn't have that money sitting in a vault. Instead, they create new money digitally when they approve your loan. This is very different from systems like gold or Bitcoin, where money needs to be mined or earned through a set process. Banks mine fiat money by issuing loans, which increases the total money in the economy. Convenient? Yes. Risky? Absolutely. What happens if too many people can't pay their loans back? The entire system begins to collapse. People panic, rushing to withdraw their savings. This is called a bank run. Central banks then step in like emergency doctors. They pump new money into the system to keep banks afloat. But this doesn't solve the problem, it just adds more debt to the system. Central banks perform 4 critical jobs to keep fiat money alive. First, they stabilize their country's currency by holding foreign reserves, usually in US dollars. This creates a chain of currencies depending on each other, which can be fragile. Second, they control international trade. The US dollar's dominance gives America global influence, including the power to impose sanctions. Third, they ensure bank deposits, allowing banks to lend out most of the money they receive. This is called fractional reserve banking. Finally, they fund government spending by creating money to buy government bonds, which lets governments spend without immediately raising taxes. Have you learned something new? If so, hit that subscribe button to stay informed about ideas that shape our world. How does all of this affect you? Ammous explains that fiat money pushes societies to focus on short-term goals instead of long-term visions. A perfect example is architecture. Older buildings, designed before the fiat era, were made to last for generations. But modern buildings prioritize cutting costs and efficiency over durability. Why has farming changed so much in recent decades? Ammous highlights fiat farms, where farmers maximize short-term profits by using heavy pesticides and fertilizers. This harms the land but boosts yields. As a result, cheap processed foods flood the market. Government subsidies make unhealthy food more affordable than fresh, nutritious options. This creates what Ammous calls a fiat diet filled with sugar, refined grains, and artificial ingredients. But how does fiat money influence education? Schools and universities rely on government funding, which pushes them to meet bureaucratic goals instead of fostering real learning. There's an overemphasis on standardized testing, and degrees have become less valuable because they don't guarantee practical skills anymore. Even scientific research isn't spared. Many scientists chase government grants, which forces them to align their studies with political interests. Research that challenges government narratives often struggles to get funding. This stifles innovation and slows progress. Are there alternatives to this flawed system? Bitcoin is one possibility. It's a digital currency with no central control. Unlike fiat money, Bitcoin has a fixed supply and isn't subject to inflation. This makes it resistant to manipulation by powerful institutions. Fiat money does have one major advantage: it's easy to transfer across borders. Over time, centralized payment systems have made global transactions fast and efficient. This convenience helped fiat dominate trade, but it brought risks. Banks lend out more money than they have in reserves under fractional reserve banking. This works as long as people trust the system. But when that trust breaks, financial crises unfold. Have you heard of shadow banking? It's a hidden world of unregulated financial institutions that function like banks, but take on even greater risks. These institutions operate outside government oversight, making the system more fragile during economic downturns. Before I share the final insights, make sure you subscribe for more deep dives into the ideas that shape your future. What would happen if Bitcoin or another hard money system replaced fiat? Governments would lose the ability to print money freely. They'd have to manage spending more responsibly, likely leading to short-term economic pain. Businesses that rely on easy credit would face challenges. However, in the long term, this shift could create a stable, sustainable economy where saving and thoughtful investment are prioritized. Imagine how education and science might change. Without political interference, researchers could explore new ideas without worrying about funding agendas. Innovation could thrive. driven by curiosity and discovery rather than bureaucracy. So, what can you do to protect yourself in this system? First, learn about different types of money: fiat, gold, Bitcoin, and others. Understanding how these systems work will help you make better financial decisions. You can save in hard assets like gold or Bitcoin, support businesses that operate outside traditional banking, and advocate for policies that promote sound money practices. Before you click on our next video, think about this. What would a world look like where individuals controlled their money instead of governments? How would that change your life and the decisions you make?